What happens in your exam if your question paper has all answers? Don't dream, that's not going to happen. Hey guys, welcome to my legal classes. This is Ganesh Pujari, and in the series of Indian Evidence Act, we were focusing on chapter 10, which is all about examination of witness, covered between section 135 to 166, and in that series this is my fifth video. Here we are going to understand a very interesting and a very important concept, that is leading questions, covered between section 141 to 143. Now we have charts as always, and I do have case laws. Not taking much of your time, let's get into the first slide. I said three important sections, that is section 141 to 143, and in this slide I would like to see them all together. Here I will not say which section is talking about what. I will give everything in this one chart, and from my next slide we will understand section by section, and let's try it in detail. Now, what are leading questions? Leading questions are those questions which are suggesting the answer in the question itself. Questions suggesting answers are known as leading questions. Now, the next question is, when can they be asked and when they cannot be asked? Now, first let us try understand when they can't be asked. That is during examination in chief and re-examination. That means if party A has invited a witness, that party while doing examination in chief or while doing re-examination is not allowed to ask leading questions if it is objected by adverse party. Now that is the beauty here. It is not straight away telling that it is not allowed. It is not allowed if objected by adverse party, and further it continues with an exception that if court give permission, in that case during examination in chief and re-examination the leading questions may be asked. Now that is in the discretion of the court. So during examination in chief and re-examinations, leading questions cannot be asked if objected by adverse party, and the exception is if court gives permission during examination in chief and re-examination also leading questions can be asked. I said also, that means somewhere leading questions can be asked. Where is that? During cross examinations they are allowed. Here there is no objection possible from the examination in chief or the party which has invited that witness, that cannot object, as well as court also can't stop. During cross examinations the leading questions are allowed. I hope that is very clear. With that I am getting into section by section. Starting with section 141, the language here is very easy. Section 141 basically gives the meaning of leading questions. It says any question suggesting the answer which the person putting it wishes or expects to receive is called a leading question. And my chart continues with the same language. If a person asks a question along with suggesting an answer which he wishes to receive or expects to receive, they are called as leading questions. When I say a person here, it is your counsel. If a counsel is asking a question along with suggesting an answer which he want to wish to receive or expecting to receive, if he is suggesting already that answer, those questions are known as leading questions. Now I will give a very simple example for leading questions. Now if the question is, so you saw Ramesh at the crime spot at 5:30 a.m. and the witness says yes. What happened here? Here there are two intended answers. One, the person whom the witness has seen was Ramesh. The second one, the time that he has seen Ramesh was 5:30 a.m. Now, can the counsel while doing examination in chief or during re-examination ask this kind of question? The answer is no if the adverse party objects or the court has not given any permission. In that case, these kind of questions are not allowed, because in the question itself the intended or the answer that wishes to be heard is available. So what is the right way to ask this question? The question can be, you said you saw a person. Do you know who was that? And at what time did you see him? Now, the witness has to tell the name of the person that he has seen as well as at what time he has seen. Now, there are multiple options that the witness may not be knowing the name of the person that he has seen, or he may be telling a different time to the court. All of that is available. Now, the opportunities for different answers are more when the question is not leading to any kind of answer. If the answers are already given, in that case they are leading questions and they are not allowed, as I said. Let's go a little further. If it was already been proved that the person who is giving witness has seen a person by name Ramesh in crime spot, that is already been discussed, already been completed. In that case, the counsel may ask, okay, at what time you saw Ramesh at crime spot? Here he can say the name of Ramesh because it is already been discussed. So that is allowed, and that is discussed under section 142, which I will explain in my next slide. If you want to make this very easy, the only thing that you need to remember when you are doing examination in chief or re-examination, you should never ask a question which gives an answer yes or no. You should always ask open-ended question. Like for example, never ask, is your name Ramesh? No. You ask, what is your name? That becomes open-ended question. That is not a leading question. So never ask a question which can give the answer of yes or no. If you are asking a question with yes or no, that is 99.99% time will be a leading question. That is what you need to remember when you are doing examination in chief or re-examination. With that, I am getting into section 142 and 143 in my next slide. Now let us try understand section 142 and 143. They are basically discussing about when the leading questions must not be asked and when the leading questions may be asked. Now the first section, that is section 142, discusses about when they must not be asked, when you should not ask leading questions. That is what discussed under section 142, and the Bail Act provision says leading questions must not, if objected to by the adverse party, be asked in an examination in chief or in re-examination except with the permission of the court. It continues, the court shall permit leading questions as to matters which are introductory or undisputed or which have in its opinion been already sufficiently proved. It's quite simple section, but the language here makes little confusing, but my chart makes it very easy. What is that? Leading questions can't be asked during examination in chief as well as re-examination. Now you need to always remember that examination in chief and re-examination is done by that party which has invited that particular witness. So when you are examining your own witness, that is called examination in chief, or when once the cross examination is over, you are re-examining the witness whom you have invited. During that time, leading questions can't be asked. Now it is not that you can never ask. You can ask, but if the adverse party says, objection my lord, then you cannot continue that question. You have to change the question if the same is accepted by the judge. Now that is what you need to remember. However, here court has a very important discretion. The court can give permission to ask leading question. And then we also have few exceptions, like if those questions are introductory or if those questions are undisputed, that means there is no objection raised, or if those factors are already sufficiently proved. On those aspects, leading questions can be asked. Now when I say during examination in chief or re-examination, when the party has invited a particular witness, it cannot ask its own witness the leading questions. There is one exception we need to observe under section 154 that I will discuss in detail when we are discussing that particular section. Now to move on, we have section 143, which is a very small bare act provision which says when they may be asked. And it says leading questions may be asked in cross examination. There is no limit here. So I have given small chart below there. Leading questions may be asked during cross examination. Now that is a very important aspect you need to remember. Before getting into case laws, I have one bonus box there, yellow color box, where I have mentioned few important aspects that you need to remember as far as leading questions are concerned. The first two are very important. The council has to object if there are any leading questions asked during examination in chief or re-examination. It is the responsibility of the council to object. If it is not objecting, in that case the question becomes valid and the answer also becomes valid. So council has to object then and there only. That is what we see. Objection, my lord. That is how the objection is raised. That needs to be raised. Only then those leading questions will be stopped by the court. And the second part, court will decide. Court here has the discretion to allow leading questions or not. Now for these two first points, I have case law in my next slide. The third aspect you need to remember, if a question is suggesting an answer in the question itself, those are known as leading questions. The fourth one, why are the leading questions not allowed during examination in chief or re-examination? It is only because the party which has invited the witness has the advantage already because the witness belongs to that particular party, and if further leading questions are allowed, everything becomes favorable. So to avoid leading the witness to any kind of required answer, there is a provision which stops asking leading questions during examination in chief or re-examination. That is the heart of section 142. It is not allowed during examination in chief and re-examination, but it is allowed during cross-examination. Why so? For that I have a case law in my next slide, and I have brought few important keywords from that particular case law which says to enable to test the credibility of the witness or to understand the accuracy of the witness, to value the witness or to screen the witness, it is very important to allow the leading questions during cross examination. That is why section 143 plays a very important role. Now let's get into two important case laws. There are two case laws that I am discussing here along with two questions. The first one is there an absolute bar on asking leading questions during examination in chief? And your answer should be no. There is no absolute bar on asking leading questions by the examination in chief. There is one rule we need to observe and there is one exception we need to observe. What is the rule? There needs to be objection from the opposite party or the adverse party. Only then those leading questions can be stopped, or the court has discretion. That is one exception we need to remember. Now from this judgment, I want to read the first line which I have underlined, which says the ban on leading questions is, however, not absolute, and this appears from section 142 of the Evidence Act, which is what held in Howrah Trading Company versus 4th Industrial Tribunal case. Now the last part is very important here. I have mentioned them in bold letter. They have observed that thus, if evidence has been admitted without objection, it must not be later on rejected on the theory that such evidence was obtained by questioning the witness in the leading form. Even being questions are objected to as leading questions, a court may allow such questions. Now here two important aspects are mentioned. One, the counsel of the adverse party need to object then and there only whenever the leading questions are asked during examination in chief or re-examination. If that is not done, later on they cannot reject. saying that that rule is available. No, you have to object then and there. The second part, the exception also is mentioned here that court may allow such questions. Now that is what we need to remember when it comes to Howrah Trading Company versus 4th Industrial Tribunal case, which is a best example for section 142. The next question is why leading questions allowed in cross examination, and this is beautifully answered in the 1953 case law, that is Lalita Prasad versus Inspector General of Police. It was said in this case that the reason why leading questions are allowed to be put to an adverse witness in cross examination is that the purpose of a cross examination being to test the accuracy, credibility and general value of the evidence given. Now these are the words used here, and this is the important phase that we need to remember as far as Lalita Prasad versus Inspector General of Police case is concerned. And as I said, this is one of the best case law for section 143.
Don't be scared. Be brave like a lion. Be brave like a tiger. Be brave. With that, I'm concluding this session. Please subscribe our channel. Please like, share and comment our videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.